How do you hike up a mountain one step at a time? How do you build muscle in the gym one rep at a time? How do you improve your grades one piece of homework at a time? Often in life, we think of our goals as this big, scary thing. I need to climb Mount Everest. I need to make $1 million. I need to get straight A's. This is so big, so scary, so difficult. But the reality is, any goal that you have can be broken down to small, consistent actions. I'm trying to hike up Mount Everest. One step, another step. I'm trying to build muscle. One curl, one more curl. I'm trying to improve my grades. One piece of homework, one test, one study session, one tutoring, whatever. Whatever you want, small, consistent actions. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Get your notebooks. This is going to be a good one. Now, for those who are new, my name's Lawrence. I'm a youth empowerment speaker. That's just a fancy way of saying that I'm a public speaker who specializes in going to schools, mainly high schools, colleges, universities, things of that sort. And I help teens and young adults improve self love, confidence, and their outlook on life so that they're able to have better careers both in the classroom and outside the classroom. And today we're going to be talking about is the power of small, consistent actions. For one reason or another, people set big goals, which is a great thing. You want to change your life. You know, it's January, so there's a lot of that new year, new me. New year, new me, I'm getting in the gym. I'm getting my first car. I'm getting my first job. I'm getting a girlfriend or boyfriend. I'm going to improve my grades. I'm going to graduate and get into college. These are great things. But we set the goal and then we look at it and we think it's going to be so hard. Because to get into college, I'm going to have to study so much harder. I'm going to have to get better grades. I'm going to have to do this and this and this and this. And it's so scary. But instead of thinking, I need to get all straight A's, what we need to focus on is what can I do today? Today, what can I do? What small thing can I do consistently that will get me to where I want to be? For me, that thing is speaking in schools. That's the big thing. The big thing is I want to become the world's most famous youth empowerment speaker. I want to make a ton of money. I want to achieve these great things. And that's big. That's scary. That's like, how am I going to do all of that? The small, consistent action, send emails. That's a small, consistent action I can do every single day that will lead me to getting there. Because when I send the email, I get a response. They say yes, no, maybe. Then we get on a Zoom call, we have a conversation, and they say yes, no, maybe. Now, from there, things build up. So, if every day I send, let's just say 100 of these every single day for 365 days, it's incredibly unlikely that I won't succeed. In fact, it's mathematically borderline impossible. And one of the things that we can do is instead of focusing so much on how in the world am I going to do that? How in the world am I going to get straight A's? We need to pay more attention to what can I do to get closer to that goal. And you'll identify so many things. There's so many different things you can do to improve your grades. You can hire a tutor. You can study more. You can read books. You can ask the teacher questions. You can ask for extra credit. You can do all of these things. But what we want to focus on is what is the thing I can do consistently that has the highest leverage. To put it into simple terms, let's say there's all of these different buttons, and you press one button, you get 1% closer. You press another button, you get 10% closer. But then there's other buttons, such as not studying. you get farther away. Then there's other things such as spark partying, playing video games until 2 in the morning. And these things can take you back 50%. So you lose a lot of progress because you're pressing the wrong button. Now, over time, you'll figure out that maybe what you need to do is study while listening to lo-fi study music. You know, that like a lo-fi girl thing. Some people, they focus really well when they listen to that, so it's better for them to study when they listen to music. Other people, they'll realize that they focus better when there's no music. So what you want to do is figure out what works for you. And your goal can be completely different than somebody else's. But the core thing is the small, consistent action. I used to have a garden. And one of the things that I learned doing that is you're going to plant the seed, you have to water it, and you have to give it sunlight. That is the small, consistent action. Water the plant. Make sure nothing eats it. And every day I go back there, I water the plant. And it grows a little bit, and then a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit. And after months, I have this giant tomato plant. So if you want to improve your grades, you get straight A's, you get into college, you get that girlfriend, you get that job, figure out what is a small, consistent action you can do every day that will get you closer. The most important part isn't the action, but it's the consistency. Because if you go to the gym and you do a really good workout 1 day a month, you go 1 day a month, you're doing really good workouts, but you're not consistent with it. Now, if you do a pretty darn good workout 3 days a week, so you do 3 days a week, good enough workout. Over a long span of time, the small, consistent action of picking up the weight and putting it down, you're going to have big muscles. That's how it works. If your goal is studying, well, having better grades, a lot of times people think I have to study for 2 hours. No, you don't. If you study for 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week, you'll have a lot of progress because you did a small, consistent action. And for some reason, people often focus on the big things. They focus on, I want to study for an hour and a half. I want to do this really big, hard thing. And for some people, that's good. Some people can study for an hour and a half nonstop. I'm not one of them. I know that about myself. If I don't like it, I'm not doing it. But I can make myself do it for 30 minutes every day. And that 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 120, 150, on and on and on. And at the end of the year, you've done so much because you did a small, consistent action every day that is focused on getting you from where you are now to where you want to be. With that said, I hope you guys got value from this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. And if you happen to be a school principal, podcast host, or run a youth organization and you're looking for speakers, you can contact me at lawrence@lawrenceharris.com. If you're interested in purchasing my books, link in the description, as well as one-on-one coaching calls. Have a good one.